Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. It is 10 p.m. Eastern here in Dayton, Ohio, and I am happy to be coming here and chatting with you all tonight. I wanted to put it out there that in case anybody wanted to join my email newsletter, I send out semi weekly, once a week, every other week. I send out tips on intuition to help you learn how to develop your own. And I send out discounts for reading and discounts for classes and lots of great information that will help you on your spiritual journey. And in order to be able to access my newsletter, you can get a free signs and symbols workbook to help you to understand how to begin to understand your signs and symbols to be able to hear from your spirit guides yourself. And you can go to Maria Leggett, MariaLeggett.com and sign up for my email there. Um, I share blog posts on there, and all these things I talk about have to do with mediumship and your intuition, because it's really important for us to all remember that you were born connected to spirit, and we often forget this. I have a lot of my clients who will come, and a lot of my students who will come to me and say, I don't think I have any abilities. And you absolutely do. You were born with them. You were born wide open, connected to spirit. I mean, think about it. When you were born, you came over here from the other side to this realm, and you were born into this little itty bitty body with no hearing, well, little hearing, almost no vision, and you can't speak. You have to learn how to do those things all over. And it's because your soul has to get adjusted to living in this new realm with this lower, denser vibration and figure out how to move through this new world, which is why all of your senses and everything are stripped away from you so that you can learn how to step into this world and live in the rules and do all of those things. So I would love to have you on my email list if you are willing to join at marialeggett.com. And with that, we're going to welcome Brandy to the show. Hi, Brandy. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How may I be of service to you today?
I'm just looking for some information about how my life is going.
Okay. Do you have a specific question or just a generic, hey, spirit, give me whatever I need to know?
Kind of just whatever I need to know. I mean, it could be relationship, could be work, but just whatever I need to know would be good.
Okay, great. I'm going to say my prayer real quick and we're going to hop right into it. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Mother, Father, God, thank you very much for this moment in time. Thank you for allowing me to be of service to Brandy today. As we open the door to communication with the great I am presence, we know that all words spoken will be with your wisdom, truth, love, and understanding in the highest. In this moment, we ask for the veil to be lifted and any crossover loved one, ancestor, spirit guide, spirit animal come through with Brandy with messages in her highest good. Amen. Um, so Brandy, they're literally taking me into crossroads. So I feel like I'm outside and there are, roads that I can take. And as I'm standing here right in the center of this, it looks like a T, right? Where you can go to the left, to the right, forwards or backwards. And I'm standing there and spirit is showing it to me. And the most important thing that they want me to say to you is no backwards progress. So don't go backwards. Don't think, well, maybe I need to undo a decision. Maybe I need to look back at this other thing. They're saying very clearly, don't go backwards. Now at this point, you need to decide that you're ready to go forward with things. For me, when I see going to the left, that means going into the past. And the backwards thing is, don't go back on any decisions that you've already made. And going forward would be in a different path. They're just showing it to me as though it's important for you to make that right hand turn and go away from the things that are driving you absolutely crazy. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
I am so glad because I literally heard there's like all these things. um, and they're showing it to me as though you try really hard to like keep things in order, but that inevitably something else like creeps up and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with it? Okay, let's just add that to my plate. Does that make sense?
makes complete sense. That's my day every day at work. So
I totally get it. Um, and so they're showing me that, I have this plate of all these things. Like, so if I'm at work and I have all these things on my plate and I'm looking at them, and I know as I'm looking at this with all these things that some of these are not mine. And it's because I am so good at what I do. Other people feel like they can dump their junk onto my plate and I just have to deal with it. Does that make sense?
yeah, that's pretty much how my job is going currently.
Um, and so spirit goes, this is where the crossroads comes in. It is either you can make the decision to just keep doing it and dealing with it, because they're showing it to me as though you don't really have an option to speak up or speak back to someone and say, no, I'm not going to do this. It's almost like you've kind of been pigeonholed into this is just how it's supposed to be. So either you can stay in the pigeonhole and accept it, or you can go, you know what, I deserve better, and I'm going to go find something else. Um,
Right.
and I don't know how you understand this, but they're showing it to me as though where you're working now would be kind of close to home and not that big of a deal to drive, and to go someplace else would be a bit further away and take more time. Does that make sense?
It does. And it's
Oh,
been I've been thinking about changing things up, and there's been trying to see if I should in the future.
yeah. And so this is Spirit's way of saying, yes, Brandy, we want you to take a new road,
Right.
because they're just showing it to me as though you've kind of been in this stuckness for they're
Right.
showing me for it somewhere between like a year to 18 months. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
And so you're ready to get out of it. And they're like, you know what? It is time to move forward and do something. And so here's what I'll tell you though. We're fixing to go into Mercury retrograde. So right now is not the time to make any of those decisions, but it is a good time to sit down and like revamp your resume and say, this is what I want to do. And then to write a couple of generic cover letters that will highlight um, different skills that you have, so that you can just whip a cover letter out with a resume and go, here you go, and send it off for job opportunities. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So they want you to take the next, okay, thank you. They gave me the number 6. So they want you to take the next 6 weeks to write the cover letters, find some generic stuff, look at jobs, find out how you need to write that cover letter, what's going to be important to put in the resume to get the jobs that you want. And this is the key to it, Brandy. You want to get the job that you want, not what you're already qualified for. So don't make it like a lateral move. You want to do something, you want to make a reach. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they want you to look at things that are not necessarily exactly what you do now, but different, and that can stretch you because you are ready to be, you're ready to step more into a supervisory role without having to deal with everybody else's stuff, so that you can start delegating out to everybody without taking it all on yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes complete sense.
Perfect. Um, and there you have a you must have a great sense of humor because you have a spirit guide who's very funny.
Yeah, my humor
And
gets me
what
through
they're
most things.
perfect. So what they're saying to me is, they're saying to me that once you can get out of the stuckness at work, it's going to help with your personal relationship to not feel frustrated or aggravated on certain days where maybe you're feeling something and you're like, I don't know why I'm kind of feeling that way. They're just showing it to me as though it's going to be very helpful for you to be a little more relaxed and at home. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense.
Perfect. And it's interesting, like, I don't know if you have kids or not, but they're showing me you at night, like, going around and just constantly picking stuff up and trying to keep the house neat and clean, and that you're really not taking any kind of self-care for you so that you can rest. And it is yes, being able to binge on Netflix is a great way to rest because, I do that myself. However, they're saying that it's important for you to find something that you enjoy so that it's not just, vegging out mentally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. 'Cause I get everything done when the kids go to bed. So
That must be why they're showing that to me because that's what I had to do when my kids were little. It's like, 9 o'clock comes and that's clean the house time.
right, it's just easier when they're in
um,
bed.
yes, absolutely. Because otherwise they're just going to get everything back out and make a mess anyway. So why bother?
Exactly. Right. Right.
Um, And so they're literally showing it to me as though you have so much on your plate every day. So there's a lot on your plate at work, there's a lot on your plate at home. So it's really important for you to find ways that you can do self care. Make a date with your girlfriends, go out, go do something so that you can relax and let your hair down because they're taking me right into my shoulders. And I feel like my shoulders are really tight and they're like pulling up towards my head. And it's just because I have so much to do, I'm a little more tense than I would like to be. And being able to do some of this self care and getting out of the house and doing something that you enjoy is going to help you to relax. That makes sense?
That does. It makes complete sense.
Perfect. So, your basic gist is after all of this, definitely look for the new job, take some time for yourself, and remember just how valuable of a person you are. And that even though things may seem kind of chaotic and off the chain sometimes or every single day, that you are exactly where you need to be on your journey. So don't feel like I'm missing something or I'm super stuck. Spirit's like, just, move forward, do what you can do when you can do it. And for me, I'm saying wait until after retrograde before you do it.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks
Awesome.
so
Thank you
much.
so much, Brandy, for joining the show. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And thank you to all of you for listening. I'm so glad that you are here. And remember, if you want to join up for my email newsletter to get tips on intuition, go to marialeggett.com and you'll be hearing from me. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great night. Bye bye.